Today's mysterious account was given by Brazilian ufologist Alberto Eduardo after an hour-and-a-half live stream on the YouTube channel of Brazilian ufologist Edison Boaventura on June 6, 2020. If you enjoy topics related to space, the possibility of intelligent alien life, and the future of humanity, Loeb is the author of the book Interstellar, The Search for Extraterrestrial Life and Our Future in the Stars. If you are interested, the link to the Audible audiobook is in the description. Brazilian ufologist Alberto Eduardo was contacted by a taxi driver. The year was 1987. The city was Belo Horizonte, the capital of the state of Minas Gerais, in southeastern Brazil. According to his account to the ufologist, the taxi driver had dropped off a couple of passengers at their destination around 10 p.m., the time he normally stopped working and went home. A guard whistled and asked him to take a couple of passengers. The woman told the taxi driver that they were going to the Tyrol neighborhood, a place very far from where they were, but even reluctantly, the taxi driver took them to their destination. The taxi driver could not refuse the fare so as not to lose his right to work with the taxi. When he was returning, two people on the side of the road signaled for him to go. They were two very tall, pale men in black suits and large, square, black sunglasses. The men looked identical. One of them, with a heavy accent and very slow Portuguese, gave him directions to the Savassi Square area, where they would turn onto BR3 and meet a person of female gender. Along the way, they conversed in a language the taxi driver didn't recognize, describing it as a collection of grunts and buzzing sounds. The taxi driver found their language strange, but was even more intrigued by the man saying they would meet a person of female gender instead of a woman. At the location specified by the passenger, they met the woman, who got into the car and asked him to continue on the road. From there, the taxi driver describes having a missing time for a very long stretch of the journey that he couldn't remember traveling. Frightened, the taxi driver stopped the car, pulled out the key, and handed it to the woman sitting next to him. He said, "Here it is. You can have everything. Keep the money I managed to make today. But please, don't do anything to me because my child is young and my wife is sick. I have to take care of them." The three conversed in that unknown language. One of the men asked the taxi driver, "What does that mean?" The taxi driver replied, "You're bringing me to a distant place. Far from all this, you must be a thief." The three talked amongst themselves, and the man asked the taxi driver, "What is a thief?" The taxi driver replied, "A thief is when someone wants to take something from someone else that doesn't belong to them." Then the man said, "We don't want to take anything from you. Go ahead." The taxi driver went ahead. Later they asked to stop, and the three got out of the taxi and continued talking amongst themselves in their unidentified language. One of the men turned towards the taxi with a large package of money in one hand and sunglasses in the other. That's when the taxi driver was surprised by the eyes of that pale man, which were completely black and round, unlike normal human eyes. The taxi driver was relieved not to have been robbed, and as usual, being honest, he called the man over to return the change, which in this case was the package containing almost all the money. He took the bills corresponding to the fare from the package and called the man. The man returned, leaned against the taxi window, and asked, "What is it now?" The taxi driver said, "This is a lot of money." And the man replied, "You can keep it because we won't need it anymore. At least for now." After receiving the statement from the taxi driver, the ufologist called Colonel Pedro Prado Coimbra, who promptly answered to be informed of this case. Unfortunately, sometime later the taxi driver disappeared. The taxi was found by the police, and the vehicle was taken for investigation in São José dos Campos, a Brazilian municipality in the interior of the state of São Paulo, but they found no clue as to what might have happened. The taxi driver's wife received compensation and returned to her hometown in the north of the state of Minas Gerais. Thank you so much for watching.